kings of the city that has not yet been named. Welcome. You know, maybe I should make that my intro. I kind of like it. It has a nice ring to it. Today I'm going to be doing another Storytime speed paint. It's probably already started by now, but today I'm going to be reading off a story I like to call Second. Also, there's an airplane that's literally flying over my house right now, so yeah, there may be that in the background, which is fun. Thanks, airplane. Mabel skipped down the stairs as the sun began to rise outside. Finally, she would be first out of all 6 of her siblings to get breakfast. That meant that she would finally get the biggest slice of cinnamon coffee cake from the local diner. The coffee cake sure was crummy and slightly stale, but that didn't stop her parents from buying it for breakfast every morning on their way to go get coffee. This was due to the fact that there were 7 siblings in total, and making money for such a large family was a very difficult task. So, slightly stale coffee cake would just have to do. Mama, I'm here now, so give me that sweet, sweet first slice of coffee cake, she howled down the stairs. I'm not so sure that you're the first, Mabel, sweetie. Macy got it, her mother called over from the dishwasher. Sorry, Mabel, dear. Mabel slowly turned to the table where she suddenly spotted Macy, her older sister by 6 years, combing her hair and eating Mabel's slice of trashy cinnamon coffee cake. Rage began to boil inside Mabel as her face grew a shade of bright red in anger. Dashing over to Macy's seat, she shouted at her, "But how? It's 5 in the morning. I woke up especially early so that I could have the luxury of eating the first slice." Macy calmly turned to Mabel and smiled as she brushed her hair. "Well, 5 o'clock is rather late, my dear. I get down here at 4:30 every day. If you want to get the first slice, Mabel, you should come down at 4, dear." She bit into the last bite of the cinnamon coffee cake and chewed. "Well, maybe I will," Mabel barked. "I swear, Macy, tomorrow I'll beat you and wake up at 4 o'clock, she grumbled before stuffing her face with the second slice. The day passed, and as night fell, Mabel set her alarm for 4 o'clock in the morning. Mabel ran down the stairs as the light outside slowly began to illuminate the dark sky, giving it a lighter shade of blue. Today! Mabel eagerly hurried down the stairs and shouted out, "Mama, I'm here! Give me the first slice of coffee cake because today I'm the one who gets the first slice. Heck yeah!" "Well, Mabel, sweetie, Macy already got it for you." "I'm sorry, dear," her mother apologized. Mabel turned to the table as rage and confusion began to boil inside of her. Dashing over to Macy, she screamed, "How? You wake up at 4:30 every day. Why have you gotten up so early?" Macy looked over to Mabel and grinned. "I woke up from a bad dream, Mabel, my dear, and I couldn't fall asleep again. If you want to get here first tomorrow, then come at 3 o'clock, just to make sure you get down here first," she advised before Mabel cut herself the second slice of coffee cake. "Fine, then I'll do just that," Mabel growled as she bit into her slice of stale cinnamon coffee cake. "And tomorrow, I'll get the first slice of coffee cake, Macy. Just you wait." Macy smiled and handed her plate to her mother before walking back over and brushing through her hair as usual. "We'll see how it goes." She left. The day passed, and as night fell, Mabel set her alarm for 3 in the morning. Mabel dashed down the stairs noisily as the moon hung from the sky with hazy light appearing over the horizon. Darting down the stairs, knocking over the stacks of tools that littered the floors below, she screamed out as loud as she could, "Mama, I'm awake now! Feed me, peasant! Give me that coffee cake now!" She howled. "Well, Mabel, sweetie." "No!" Mabel shrieked as she crashed to the ground, landing on piles of books and tools. "Good morning, Mabel, dear." Macy smiled as Mabel crawled over to the table, hissing as she slithered across the floor and collapsed onto the table. Mabel looked up at Macy with a pained look. "But how? I'm tired and I woke up early, yet..." She screeched as Macy quietly brushed her hair. Mabel, my dear, I needed to get my makeup ready early today. Sure, I'm a bit tired, but most definitely would never take the first slice from you on purpose, Mabel. She smiled. You're my little sister. Why would I ever do such a thing to you? Chopping down furiously on the second piece, Mabel looked at her sister with a look of pure pain, screaming. But how do I get first, then? She asked as she finished the flavorless, stale, and cheap cinnamon coffee cake and placed her dish by the sink. Macy sat finishing her slice. I tell you what, at midnight you should come down here, and I am most positive, my dear, that you will get the first slice. She laughed loudly as Mabel rushed up the stairs to set her alarm for the next morning. The day quickly passed, and as night fell, Mabel then waited for her alarm to go off. Mabel sped down the stairs, knocking over books, tools, and stacks of papers as she rushed into the kitchen. The moon hung high in the sky as she dashed down, awaiting for her mother to hold a box with coffee cake. She smiled, sleep-deprived and almost psychotically, before screaming at the top of her lungs, Mama! The day has come, peasant! Now give me my first slice right this moment! Only for her face to fall as she collapsed to the ground crying. Her mother sat half asleep on the couch across the room, muttering, Sorry, dear. No! Mabel howled as her cry echoed through the winding streets of the city outside. Good morning, Mabel, my dear. Macy smiled as she yawned. Mabel sobbed on the floor as she whined to her sister. Why have you always won the race? I'm done for! Mabel roared as she sat up and glared at Macy. How did you win this time? Macy smiled as she bit into the cake. Come along, Mabel, she said as she passed her sister the second slice. I already cut you a piece. Well, isn't that generous? Mabel grumbled as she took a bite of the stale, flavorless, cheap, and boring cinnamon coffee cake placed before immediately spitting it out. Ew! Macy looked at Mabel in concern as her sister washed off her dish and began to walk back upstairs through the mess that she had made during her rampage. Mabel, my dear, is something wrong? Mabel began to climb the stairs and then stopped. I don't like coffee cake all that much, and it's late. I'm going back to bed, she muttered before disappearing into the hallway above. Macy smiled as she finished up her slice and looked over to the sink, smiling. Looks like the brat finally learned her lesson, Macy grinned as she ran the brush through her long hair. And as an added bonus, my teaching also taught her how to do the dishes. Right, Mama? Macy heard a snore from the couch and smiled before looking up at the clock and frowning. Well, look at the time. It's nearly 1 a.m. already. I'm gonna go back to bed now. And that is the ending of Second. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, especially because I enjoyed writing this piece. I thought it was a ton of fun to write, and I really hope you appreciate this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also make sure to click the bell for more content. And I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye!